with Edie Tarbox and Victoria Corderi. Bill Evans with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast and the Eyewitness News team. Now, Eyewitness News.
Good afternoon, I'm Victoria Corderi. The serenity of a Queens neighborhood was rocked this morning after a terrible collision. A city bus and a tow truck crashed, sending the bus into a house and at least 18 people to the hospital. It happened at 88th Avenue and 188th Street in the Jamaica section of Queens, and that's where Lucy Yang is standing by live with the very latest. Lucy.
Victoria, far from a scheduled stop on this transit route, a city bus crashed into the front of a house this morning. It happened here at 8819 188th Street in Jamaica, Queens, leaving 18 injured and taken to the hospital. It happened around 10 a.m. and officials are now blaming the driver of this tow truck. They report the problem began when the tow truck rolled down 186th Street, going the wrong way down a one-way street. Ricky Raj Jr. was sitting on his porch at the time and says he saw the truck damage the side of his car.
And the tow truck driver came up the one way and he swiped the whole car, and then he ran away from the accident. So then we jumped in another car and started chasing him. And then when we went that way, we was coming back, we seen him run into the bus. He ran all the stop signs here and he ran into the bus. And we stopped the car, and then he tried to run and we grabbed him.
According to police, 188th Street and 89th Avenue is where the truck collided into the bus, causing the Q3 line to crash into the front of this house. Fortunately, no one was home at the time. As for the driver of the truck, he did not stop there. Final stop was in the middle of the block where the truck reportedly crashed into this parked gray Isuzu. The driver, 19-year-old Rui Vasconcelos, was arrested at the spot. Vasconcelos has been charged with leaving the scene of a crime. Police are now investigating to see if he was licensed to drive a tow truck. As for the passengers, all were taken to area hospitals for minor injuries, including the driver of the bus. One of those injured, we're told, is a woman who is 9 months pregnant. That is the very latest this noon. We're live in Jamaica, Queens. Lucy Yang, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Some subway strap hangers were taken for a ride. A Brooklyn teen with a passion for trains is now in a heap of trouble. Over the weekend, he took the A train and all the passengers for a several-hour ride. And although the teen made all the stops, he was then stopped. Sarah Wallace is live in Brooklyn with the latest. Sarah?
Well, Edie, 16-year-old Kieran Thomas was brought out of the detective unit here a short time ago, charged with reckless endangerment, a felony. Now, this is not the first time that Thomas has had a close encounter with a TA. He was arrested for trespassing on Transit Authority property last year. His mother told police her son has been obsessed with subway trains ever since the family arrived here from Trinidad 5 years ago. Well, on Saturday, he decided to put his knowledge to the test and had no problem doing exactly what he wanted to do. He was known by the nickname Keno and hung around subway crew rooms so much, motormen and conductors say they just assumed Kieran Thomas worked on the trains. So when the 16-year-old showed up here at the 207th Street terminal in Upper Manhattan on Saturday, no one thought it strange. He signed in as Rigoberto Sabio, a legitimate subway man on vacation, and even had his pass number. No one asked to see a photo ID. He had on a TA uniform shirt like motormen wear and a bag with all the tools, even the reverse key required to back up the train.
In addition, he knew where to call, what telephone number to call, to volunteer as a motorman to work overtime on his day off. That was the ruse. He called in, said, you know, my name is so-and-so, this is my pass number, I'm on my regular day off. You know, if you need any cover for overtime, I'll be happy to work it. And they gave him an assignment.
Thomas was given an assignment on the A train that took him through Manhattan to Brooklyn and into Queens. A total of 45 miles with stops at 53 stations on the way. He did just fine. No one noticed anything unusual. But on the return trip just outside the 175th Street station, he overran a red signal going too fast and tripped the track-level emergency brake, which dragged the train to a stop. When there's a serious incident like that, a motorman is brought here to Transit Authority headquarters in Brooklyn for a blood and alcohol test. But when Thomas got here, he suddenly bolted. Transit detectives finally traced him to his house last night, and he made full admissions.
There have been instances where buses have been caught operating trains in the yard, but this is the first time we ever had one that we know of that actually drove one in passenger service.
We've talked to some employees who say that security is just incredibly lax.
Well, you know, this isn't an airport.
The TA, however, promises to review its ID checking policy. Still under investigation at this point is whether Thomas just picked up his knowledge by hanging around motormen or whether he had inside help. And there could be additional charges against others. Live from Brooklyn, Sarah Wallace, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Sarah. That's not the end of the train troubles. There were more, not on the A-line, but on the Long Island Railroad. Just east of Westbury, this freight train derailed early this morning. Apparently, the train that you see there was pulling out of a spur onto the main tracks when 3 cars slipped off. There were no injuries, but it tied up one of the 2 tracks during rush hour, and that caused half-hour delays on the Huntington, Port Jefferson, and Ronkonkoma lines. Victoria?
A freak accident during a high school track meet in Metuchen, New Jersey left a 15-year-old with a javelin in his neck. It happened after a meet yesterday, and Carlos Granda is live in New Brunswick with more. Carlos.
Well, Victoria, the victim is 15-year-old Jeremy Campbell. He's here at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital in New Brunswick in satisfactory condition at this hour. Police officials say he is a very lucky young man. They're now investigating to see what led to this highly unusual incident. It happened yesterday just after 4 o'clock in the afternoon at St. Joseph's High School in Metuchen. Police say a track meet between St. Joseph's and Edison High School had just ended, and team members were on their way out. That's when somebody spotted the javelin flying in the air.
A group of about 5 St. Joe students were on the field. One of them observed the javelin in the air, yelled a warning. Jeremy Campbell, age 15, didn't get out of the way in time. It came down from the back left side, and the tip protruded from the front of his neck.
2 officers helped keep the victim stable at the scene to prevent further injuries. Firefighters had to cut 6 feet of the javelin and leave a piece in the child's neck while he was airlifted to Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. Here he underwent surgery to remove the javelin. Fortunately, his injuries were not severe. Police still aren't sure who threw it.
Right now we have an investigation that's ongoing to try and find out what the circumstances are, but we don't believe at this time that there was any kind of criminal intent. It seems like an accident.
And we were told by the hospital just a few moments ago that the victim will be going home this afternoon. And we're live in New Brunswick. I'm Carlos Granda, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Another child is being mourned today. Tears and an anguished final farewell for little Davina Janeo, who was kidnapped, raped, and murdered last week. Family, friends, and neighbors joined in the funeral services for the little 7-year-old girl who was kidnapped near her home while playing with friends. Police are holding Conrad Jeffrey on $1 million bail for Davina's murder. Jeffrey was recently paroled after serving just half his sentence for attempted abduction.
It's decision day in federal court. City College professor Leonard Jeffrey, stripped of chairmanship of the Black Studies Department, hopes to get his job back along with $25 million in damages. A jury hearing his lawsuit reached its verdict yesterday, but the judge delayed announcing the decision until today, and word is expected at any moment. Jeffries was demoted after a speech in which he claimed Italians and Jews conspired to belittle blacks in the movies and that Jews helped finance slave trade. Jeffrey's suit claims his freedom of speech was crushed by the University Board of Trustees, and as soon as that decision is announced, we will bring it to you.
Another court battle over noise. Apparently what's music to the ears of some is a nuisance to others. Tappy Phillips has details of one young pianist and a story of the true scales of justice.
B. Schenker is at her wit's end.
I can't even sit in this living room. Whenever it starts to play, I get the hives, I start crying. My husband goes nuts too.
The problem is her upstairs neighbor, 13-year-old Yuka Michitaka, a child prodigy pianist who practices long hours. But Mrs. Schenker's husband, David, an emergency room doctor, needs his sleep. And this has led to a 4-year battle and now a lawsuit.
It's important for him to sleep, and it's also important for me to be able to enjoy the peaceful possession of my home.
The condo board of Winston Towers limited the number of hours Yuka could practice, but it still annoyed neighbors enough that the Rosses moved out.
You couldn't sleep. If any noise bothered you, you couldn't sleep.
But not everyone agrees. Security guards frequently get complaints about the noise.
Downstairs, maybe if that's going on all day long, it's annoying to you, but to other people, they say they live right down the hall from me. So.
Yuka now practices in Fort Lee, not here at her apartment, to avoid the controversy. Her father has installed soundproofing and has filed a countersuit, saying the Shankers have harassed him. Yuka just wants to play the piano.
I don't practice always at home. I don't practice like in the middle of the night or anything. So.
The case is scheduled to come to court sometime within the next few weeks, and then a judge will have to decide if a musician's right to practice or the neighbor's right to privacy prevails. In Cliffside Park, New Jersey, Tappy Phillips, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Well, there was testimony that was music to the ears of those who oppose gays in the military.
Coming up next on Eyewitness News, General Norman Schwarzkopf weighs in with his opinion on the controversial debate. You'll hear what he has to say.
Plus another controversy, this one about taxing beer and why some people in the administration may be rethinking the sin tax.
And later on, is it an idea whose time has come? Female condoms take another step toward making it onto the market. That's later on Eyewitness News.
You want your husband in the delivery room, but how will he be after what he sees?
He wouldn't have sex with me anymore.
3 or 4 gallons of water just rushed out of her, and that made me nauseous.
Everybody on that wing heard him. He was like grossing out.
You weren't exactly calm either.
Well, I was having a baby.
Do you really want your man in the delivery room? On the next Oprah. Today at 4, followed by Eyewitness News right here on Channel 7.
Living Well Lady Fitness Centers offers workout programs designed exclusively for women. Now, for only $15 a month, you can enjoy the special attention you deserve while getting in shape for the summer. A good fitness program is something you owe yourself, and our $15 a month special is a great incentive, so join now. Remember, only $15 a month. Call us at 1-800-LIVE-WELL, LIVWELL.
Hi, everybody. I'm Regis Phillips.
And I'm Kathy Lee Gifford. Reach, did you see who's going to be here for the next live?
Who's that?
Only Barbara Walters. And you know what she wants. She's the reigning queen of primetime specials. You know what she wants.
I know what she wants.
She wants you, babe, and she wants you now.
In her dreams.
We'll see.
Plus, find out why Home Improvement is one of the hottest shows on television from its star Tim Allen.
Later in the week, Jeff Bridges.
Sybil Shepherd.
Much, much more on Live. Tomorrow at 9.
Right here on Channel 7.
The semifinal challenge with Eric, Dave, and Keena. The college championship on Jeopardy!
Watch the Jeopardy College Championship tonight at 7.
It's a fun-filled week in Boston as the Wheel takes Beantown by storm, only on America's Game, Wheel of Fortune.
Watch Wheel of Fortune Boston Week tonight at 7:30.
No matter how sophisticated your computer is, it's only as good as the disk you put in it. Maxell floppy disks said nobody beats the Wiz. Take your computer to the max.
It is a thorny and controversial issue, and now General Norman Schwarzkopf has weighed in with his opinion of gays in the military. The retired Gulf War general testified before the Senate Armed Services Committee, attacking the plan to let gays serve openly.
My position is not a condemnation of anyone's right to choose their sexual orientation. That said, I must say that I am opposed to an executive order lifting the ban on homosexuals in the military service.
His reasons, he said, are practical and not moral. General Schwarzkopf said in his experience, homosexuals have served well until their units learn about their sexual orientation.
And my opposition grows out of honest concern for the impact that such a measure would have on the men and women of our armed forces and the resultant reduction in our nation's ability to protect our vital interests.
This latest salvo against the Clinton administration plan comes on day 2 of the contentious hearings. Yesterday, the chairman of the committee, Senator Sam Nunn, who opposes gays in the military, led committee members on a tour of the country's biggest naval base in Norfolk, Virginia, to show them the close quarters and to hear from rank and file.
If you got a guy that's looking at you in other ways, you know, just as a friend, then you don't feel comfortable with him, and you really don't know how much you can rely on him.
Back on the Hill, 2 gay officers defended the plan.
I can do the job. They spent $2 million training me to do this job. I can do it. And they're taking me away just because of the fact that I'm gay.
Some sailors responded to his plea by walking out. Others warned they would quit the military when their tours are over. In the end, there was word a compromise may be reached where the military would not ask about sexual orientation, so there would be no need to declare it. And while that debate goes on, the Army is discharging a soldier who declared his homosexuality last month at the Gay Rights March in Washington. Sergeant Jose Zuniga says he accepts the discharge, but will continue to fight the ban and plans to re-enlist if it is lifted.
President Clinton would apparently like to put the issue of gays in the military on the back burner for now. He's in the heartland today, focusing on an issue close to his heart. In Chicago, the president addressed high school students about his national service program, which he hopes will change the way kids think about education.
That's a bad case of the tail wagging the dog. People actually deciding what to do with their lives based on the crushing burden of debt they have to get an education, the purpose of which was to be free to choose to do whatever you want to do with your life.
The president wants to use this trip to refocus on domestic issues, especially the economy. President Clinton has also apparently decided a beer tax would be too hard to swallow. The Wall Street Journal reports that if there is a so-called sin tax, it won't include beer. The administration had proposed higher taxes on alcohol as part of a deficit-cutting plan, but many insiders feel a beer tax would anger too many people. Heated debate and lots of heat outside today.
Up next on Eyewitness News, we'll find out more about this heat wave. Bill Evans will have the exclusive AccuWeather forecast and tell us how hot, hot, hot it's going to get.
Teens and sex. In the 90s, it's an explosive combination.
I was raped.
Now, Eyewitness News uncovers the new teen morality. Your kids are having sex, and it's gone way beyond petting in the back seat of Dad's car.
Every city, every state, they have sex in high school. It's a reality.
You've heard of the Spur Posse and the Glenridge sexual assault. Now find out what your kids already know about the new teen morality. A special report today on Eyewitness News at 5, right here on Channel 7.
Some roach baits just seem to scream.
Roach bait, roach bait! They're not a pretty sight.
But new Raid roach baits don't look like ordinary baits, so you can put them anywhere. And Raid baits kill up to 3 months. Back in the nest.
That was a roach bait?
Uh-oh.
Raid! Roach bait? What roach bait?
New Raid roach baits. Only you know they kill bugs dead. From SC Johnson Wax.
And the Tony Award goes to Bill Finn, music and lyrics, falsetto!
William Finn, James Lapine, falsettos.
Falsettos, second smash year on Broadway at the Golden Theater. Call Telecharge 212-239-6200.
I feel as though I've tried every diet known to woman.
Hey, me too. So after she tells you about a great plan, I'm going to tell you how to save $22. Watch, and I'll be right back.
I feel as though I've tried every diet known to woman. Nothing worked for me. I simply don't have the time. So I listened when Weight Watchers told me about its personal cuisine plan. It's the easiest way to do Weight Watchers. Just open your microwave. It's pre-planned with incredibly, outrageously delicious foods you get from your Weight Watcher Center, which incidentally is the only place you can buy personal cuisine.
This great tasting personal cuisine food is just the beginning. Call 1-800-274-8273 now, and we'll send you a coupon for $5 off personal cuisine. You gotta taste this. If you haven't joined Weight Watchers, come to a free trial meeting. Pay just $13 only if you join. Save $17. Remember, call now and you'll also save $5 on personal cuisine. A total savings of $22. I know you're this close to calling, so do it now.
Meteorologist Bill Evans with us and promising what could end up to be a record-breaking temperature day.
That's it. That's it. I've been singing the A Train all night.
Thanks. Take it, Bill.
There are no words to the A Train, but I thought I'd take a ride on it anyway. Just make sure you roll the windows down. I want to meet that kid. They're a great kid, Thomas. Nevertheless, if you're out today, a veritable record-setting day in which we could get to 91, that'll break a 93-year-old record. So it's hot in the subway, too, by the way. It's a steam bath. I've been in it. I can tell you. This is the way it has looked in Harlem today. The temperature has been rising, by the way, at the rate of 4 degrees per hour. And that is very fast for this time of the year, considering that we are in springtime when we don't get these warm air masses like we've been getting. But it is a hot day. A lot of people are having to cool down by having something cold to drink. And look at this picture. People have jackets on. You will not need that in about a couple of hours from now. Let me tell you why. Here's what's going on this hour. The skies are beautifully sunny and it's blue, but the temperature now, 82 degrees. And like I mentioned, the temperature is rising rapidly. The humidity still at 56%, is moderate to high for this hour of the day, considering that the barometer has been falling a little bit and the winds have been out of the southwest at 9. That's a warm, dry wind, but the humidity has been holding up pretty high. Now, the reason why I tell you this, as we get toward maximum heating later on today, which will be around 91 degrees, that's as hot as it can get for this time of the year. That could touch off some dangerous thunderstorms in and around the area. We'll talk more about that. First off, let's look at some satellite pictures from the last 24 hours. We really can't even scare up a cloud really in and around the area. It's just like an oven. It's a big ridge of high pressure that is across the area. This is an area of cloudiness that we had yesterday. That was a cool front that backed across the area. Now it's pushed back out into the Canadian Maritimes because this high pressure ridge is very strong. When you're on the backside of a high-pressure system, and this is a Pacific high, that means the air on the backside of the high is really hot. There were record highs at Buffalo yesterday and at Pittsburgh, throughout the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes. Well, now that hot air is working its way across today. Now, here's a cold front right here that we're watching. Very weak frontal boundary that's racing southward. Should get here about 4 o'clock this afternoon. There might be enough height falls, might be enough humidity, might be enough components that could touch off a scattered shower or a thunderstorm later on today. Look at these satellite pictures across the rest of the country. The only thing that's shaking is really this low-pressure storm system that has been working its way through the Central Plains, creating nasty weather yesterday. It's still there and will continue to do it throughout this afternoon. There are thunderstorms inside that system across central sections and now eastern sections of Missouri, central Oklahoma, where they're getting more torrents of rain. That's really going to hamper things because they've already had 8-9 inches of rain from the system already. Forecast map for this afternoon. As that frontal system that I was showing you in Wisconsin moves down, we'll get to 91. There will be some hot fun, and it's not even summertime, as the winds will still continue to be out of the southwest. Tomorrow, the cool front will work its way on through. We could have a late day shower on Wednesday, and the temperature drops to 81. But look how cool it is behind it. 59 at Toronto, 53 at Caribou. So it's really some cool air working our way down for the middle part of the week. Sunny and hot. Record high this afternoon. Remember, the old record is 1896, 91 degrees. Partly cloudy and mild tonight, 63 the low. And then tomorrow, a day in which we could see a late day storm, not as warm as today. It'll be around 81. The 5-day outlook. A late-day thunderstorm on Wednesday, widely scattered. Then there's the cool weather I was talking about for Thursday and Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, we might get a sprinkle from that system out west. But later on today, Sam will be here. If there's severe weather, don't you worry about it. Sam and I will be here. We'll worry about it. We'll have it for you.
Thanks, Phil.
All right.
The first condom designed for women will hit stores around the country by the end of the year. While granting approval, the Food and Drug Administration said that the male latex condom is a better safeguard against sexually transmitted diseases and against pregnancy. The Reality condom for women will sell in stores for $2.50 each. Pregnant women are now being advised to stay away from alcohol completely because of the risk of birth defects. The Academy of Pediatrics says that since studies disagree on whether even a small amount of alcohol during pregnancy would be safe, it has decided to recommend total abstinence. The Academy warns that excessive drinking could lead to a variety of health problems for newborns.
Overseas, the death toll has climbed to at least 160 in the fire in a doll factory in Bangkok, and authorities fear it will go even higher. At least 98 of the victims were women, and more than 400 workers were injured, many seriously, when they jumped from high windows in the crowded shop. The cause of the fire is tentatively listed as an electrical short circuit. Fires in Southern California have ravaged thousands of acres in the past 2 days. There are more than 50 separate brush fires. Hardest hit are the areas in and around San Diego and Los Angeles County. In Ramona, near San Diego, dozens of residents had to leave their homes Sunday, but were allowed back last night. It is another kind of problem for Ivan Boesky.
Up next in Eyewitness News, the former Wall Street money man, once worth millions, is making an unusual demand on his former wife. We'll have that story.
Do you look in the mirror and always feel
underweight,
overweight,
too short,
too tall,
thin hair,
fat nose? Well, you're not alone. There's a secret disorder and it affects thousands.
People who spend a lot of time buying cosmetic products, putting on makeup, or fussing with their hair.
Eyewitness News anchor Diana Williams shows you how to feel good about your body. Meet people overcoming this ugly obsession. Tonight at 11 on Eyewitness News, right here on Channel 7.
Hello.
Say hello to the world and save over 40%. Every weekend in June, AT&T Reach Out World customers will save off their already discounted calls. And not just to 1 or 2 international numbers, but to everyone you want to call. So who are you going to say hello to for 40% less? International savings with the way you call. Just another part of the I plan.
Hello, mate.
I is for individual.
First, we made the Donuts Mini.
Mini donuts.
Then we made the Eclairs Mini.
Mini eclairs.
And to make that an even bigger deal, we made the Money Mini.
Mini money.
Which means you can get a lot of Dunkin' Donuts Minis for very little money. Any 5 minis for the minimum of just 99 cents. This is one offer that's too small to miss.
The chance.
So come to Dunkin' Donuts where everything seems to be mini. So many minis, so little money.
Say, you should play Take 5, the game 500,000 New Yorkers win every week. Be a winner. Play Take 5.
As Nobody Beats the Wiz continues to change and grow, we want to take time to thank you. Because it is thanks to you, our customers, that nobody beats the Wiz.
Be a wheel watcher.
Tonight at 7:30, right here on Channel 7.
Hollywood stars shine for Shakespeare, and they top today's People in the News. Kenneth Branagh's new film, Much Ado About Nothing, premiered last night in Los Angeles. Among those attending the Shakespearean classic were Steve Martin and Jodie Foster. Ivan Boesky, the man convicted of insider trading, has another legal fight on his hands. This time, he's suing his former wife for money to support him. The man, whose fortune was once estimated at $200 million, says all he needs is $80,000 a month to get by. Dolly Parton and Mayor Dinkins are hoping for a new money-making venture here in the Big Apple. They attended last night's ribbon-cutting ceremony for a new recording studio. That facility is located on Manhattan's west side and once housed the old Movie Tone Studios.
And let's take a look at what's coming up on Eyewitness News at 5. And for that, we go to Greg Hurst, who is in the newsroom. Greg.
And here are some of the stories we're working on for 5 o'clock today. The man on death row in Oklahoma who says he wants to die, but New York State doesn't want him executed. An exclusive interview with Thomas Grasso. Also, pain in the chest, a warning sign for heart disease in men and women, but it may be more important for women to listen to this than men. Dr. Jay Athersberg explains. And the quiet New Jersey suburb that is being transferred into Hollywood East when a major motion picture is shot there. We'll have that and a whole lot more when you join us today at 5. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Greg, and that's the news for now. I'm Victoria Corderi.
And I'm Edie Tarbox. See you tomorrow. Bye.